That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Action. What do you say, folks? We're trying to line out our.
Get our act together.
Yeah. We don't have a producer, so it's just like, what did we do? And, well, I can't remember what we done, really.
It all just blurs together.
Should have wrote it down. It's another one.
Well, I have it all in the calendar on my phone, but we're filming on my phone, so I can't see. Anyway, we're here.
Appreciate everybody coming in. Yeah, looks like we could upload that. Refresh.
That's what I'm saying.
There we go. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Fine week, I hope. Starting off the hours.
So nothing but rain.
Yes.
Nothing but rain.
We've gotten, I'll just about say an inch and two, maybe over a foot of rain in the last 5, no more than 7 days. I mean,
It's ridiculous. Mr. Dan said he likes your t-shirt.
thanks, sir. My wife got this for me. Yep.
It fit him so well.
Mm-hmm. She said, it wasn't even for a birthday or nothing. It's just because she wanted to, I reckon.
Because I love him.
She said, what you think about these shirts? And I was like, well, I like that one. Oh, I like that one too. Then settled on this one until I got a couple more coming in. Patriotism. Love my country. Kind of stuff. So, thanks, sir. Appreciate that. She got me another one in there. I forget what it says. It was something about kneeling for God. Y'all know what?
Stand before the world.
Yeah, got me that one in there. But I guess maybe if I'm good for another month or two, she may order me another one. We'll see about it.
That might actually be a good thing, Mr. Dan. I didn't know he was going to wear it on here, and I don't know if we can get in trouble on this platform for what he said.
This is freedom of speech. What are you talking about? What?
He can't see it all because of the name on the screen. So he said you need to stand up and say
Let me put it in. Let me get it.
Why don't you just tell them what it says?
Well, because let the people see what it says.
Am I not read it?
Unvaccinated, conservative, meat-eating gun owner, lead dispenser. How else can I offend you today? So the door is wide open. Let me hear it. Let me hear it, people.
I saw it and I was like, what in the Tim Blake is that? So it's like, yeah, we'll get him that word.
Yep. So
he wears it proudly.
You're welcome, America.
Yeah. Keith Spillman's laughing at you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, he might be laughing and then you got thumbs up from Lee.
Thanks,
Mr.
sir.
Dan loves it.
Thanks, sir.
He probably loves it even more than when he made his original comment.
Well,
now that he knows the full extent of what it said.
Hey, that's just.
And we lost a viewer.
Oh, yeah. Well, they gone. I'll check the subs after this one and go, well, all right, fine, okay. But anyway. Oh, and Bible belief. That's what it needs to have on there, too. Bible believer. Really talk about run them out.
Randy said, well said, Tim.
Thank you, Miss Green.
Mm-hmm.
But Or I light a fire under America's behind, and ones that's all tender-footed running around here carrying on.
Oh, we're up 5.
Huh, all right, well, there we go. Lost one, gained 4 more. Anyway, what we've been doing, we've kind of figured that out as soon as we hit the go live button.
I shed a lot of tears this week. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've had my heart broken a bunch of times this week between losing the bees and then the what you call it that we've been pumped about and
Going to Slide Hill?
yes, the conference. Like man,
Yeah.
literally, we have been rat holing money and saving everything we've been sent off of YouTube. And we had everything. I was going to order our tickets this past week to go. Like, we were lined out. And then on Ricky's show, they were talking about it.
Yeah.
He even texted Lee for real, like, confirmation from the horse's mouth. Like, what the heck, man? I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed out when I heard it on. I heard that little bit, and immediately, God love him, Lee. He's running things for Ricky over there, looking around, doing this and doing that. Then I text him, and he's checking the message and writing me back real quick. Yeah, well, daggone. But we'll see about the next one then. Whatever's kind of close, or things work out, maybe.
Mr. Danson, now you can go to Nobby. Nobby's was going to cost us a whole lot more than Slidell.
Yes, sir.
But
I mean, maybe things work out. See how the lower wheels on things, and
yeah, I mean, our biggest thing for going out of town. I know y'all our original people have heard us say this, but the zoo that we live with around here, that's the biggest thing from going out of town. But I don't know. I mean, you never know. We didn't know we'd be feeling like beehavers instead of beekeepers at this point either. But
we could take Stella, leave her in a pet-friendly cage, in a pet-friendly room, for she can be on watch because she's not very social, except for with very, very few people. But we could take Jasper as an emotional support animal, and we can meet everybody, and they can say hey to Jasper too.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. We'll get it, people.
Well, there's our buddy Larimore.
Let's say, Captain.
He said it's great to see smiling beekeepers. Oh, Rodney, I'm glad you kind of brought that up again. I was going to message you back in the early part of the chat, but I didn't want to sound like I was being a smart aleck or anything.
Snarky.
Yeah, you can't hear tone of voice in the text, and I wouldn't want somebody to think I was being over.
You know how the women can get.
Yeah, whatever. But no, they were like that close to really absconding completely just on their own. But I think what had them boiling out like that, doing that crazy march, is because we did get the queen in the vacuum by accident.
Yes.
Somebody took control of my job. No, I probably would have got her too, the way we were having to do it. But no, I think that's what really triggered that crazy get out now kind of deal.
Well,
but
to give you a visual, okay, stay with me.
That's his department.
I'm gonna make a long story short. Y'all know where this is going.
Everybody got your coffee?
I know, I'm taking my deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Went out there yesterday morning and seen them all bowled out right there. Was like,
He still
Uh-oh.
said, what music were y'all playing through that speaker? Rap? Should have turned on some Conway Twitty, huh?
Well, I had told, I'm going to get off track. I'm going to leave the rabbit here in a second. I had told, who was it? Dennis Barney, I think it was, that commented on there. And I was saying about old Jerry Flowers, how we was yakking about that the other week. Then you got Odell and Odell and Clevis and Marcel and a whole bunch running through there.
Larry Moore said bebop.
Bebop. There you go. Okay, back where we was at. We were between rain showers. But before the rain got us the first time, I was looking through that little hole, and man, I seen that queen. I told Hannah, I said 2 or 3 times, I said, I see her right there. She's right there, right there. Well, we vacuuming and everybody just kind of meandering around. So I grabbed a hose from her in a gentle way and popped that, I don't know, the smaller end. I plucked that baby out there and I just stuck that hose inside that little vent hole, whatever you want to call it. And that's when I reckon we had got her, seeing her right there. And then, boom. Well, we was starting to feel it drizzle, and I had looked back at that vacuum, and there's a few late bees starting to cluster up on the top of that vacuum. I told her, I said, I think we got her in there. I hope. Lord willing, the rain will hold off. So we started doing a little bit more, and before you knew it, we could hear it in the woods. And it was fitting to be on top of us. So she grabbed vacuum, cell phones, the whole shooting match, took off up the hill, and I had that piece of window screen still sitting beside him, and I stuffed all that in that little pocket just in case. Then after the rain, we come back down there, and we had pulled that piece of screen out of that little pocket hole, and that's when we started vacuuming and turned the camera back on, and you see the bees just literally walking right into the vacuum to us. But yes, sir, either or, it was going to be that day sometime that bunch was going to swarm.
I mean, they were right there. Yes, that was our first clue that they're probably in the same shape of what we were dealing with a couple days before. But yeah, as soon as he rolled that wire down and saw like that bottom piece of tape that was holding all those cabins, it's like, no. No, Larimore, it was definitely not my hands with no gloves. I was really jealous that he didn't have to he didn't even have a veil on. You did put it on when you were using the saw, but they never did anything, like ever. So yeah, I was tempted, sweating buckets in the suit. But no, I value my life a little too much to take a chance like that.
Well, just we on. Well, let's holiday about it real quick.
Yeah, because there's quite a few people coming in here, so I'll try to keep up with the chat.
I'm gonna mosey up to the top right fast. Let's see. Trying to remember who got in here first. DC got first. Yeah, DC first this evening. Grayson, he got in here second. The Hallelujah Bee Farm.
Yeah, Miss Leona. But no, I think people are going in there just marking their place and then coming back.
Oh, okay. Who else here? Mr. Rodney Middleton, good to see you in here again, brother. Dead Sun Bunny. Keeps filming them half tracks up there.
Miss Catherine.
Mr. Mike Mortain way.
Miss Cindy's probably watching. Mr. Mike Conley. I think we were technically on time tonight.
She was, look, this ain't no joke, Mr. Mike. I told her, I said, it's 7 o'clock. And she was warming her coffee up, and the microwave was just going off. And she said, we're never on time anyway.
We're not.
And I was like,
y'all think we got something big to announce. We're on time for a live stream.
I said, well, okay, you're right. Then it wasn't, I guess, about the time we were saying that's whenever you hit the 1 minute to late
Yeah.
across there, and we just died laughing while the intro was going. But
That's what we were trying to get our act together when the thing turned on.
Mr. Dan Weaver, James, Noel, Lee there. Who else we got in here? Mr. Richard, good to see you. Uh, Randy from Tar Hill, Stone River.
I'm Brian and Jean,
Mm,
Joey, Maggie and Joey.
One of the Texans is in here. Old Philip.
Yeah, he said he was heading home.
Packing up, heading home from the phone. The man said, all right.
Yeah,
Am I missing somebody here?
our friend Keith lived. Hey, Maritza. Jay came in
Yep.
too.
Jay, good to see you, bro.
And then John Lawler. Haven't seen him in a minute or so.
Yep. Mr. Russell Heyman, good to see you too, brother. We're going to name everybody. Matt, Morris
Yeah.
Homestead. Mr.
Hey, Steve.
Yep.
Sorry.
I think we got everybody there on that.
I said we're breaking up.
I don't know. It's raining again.
Yeah.
Y'all bear with us. Maybe it'll
What is
go back to running right in a second.
official honey Tuesday?
Oh, yeah, we got to set a date on
What
that.
in the world are you? Well, he said, when is the second annual OUHT night? I had to think about it for half a second.
We better set a date on that. If not, we're going to have to move like to the third week of September. The way we're getting.
Well, until you're supposed to talk to she's going to be the judge.
I got
Because they have a really busy schedule too. I thought we were going to spend some.
Or we can try to talk to them. Be on Sunday evening.
I mean, I don't know.
Bear with us. We'll have it.
Yeah.
But we will be having it. Yes, we will be
Like
having
a
it.
city council meeting. We'll put it off to next week.
Next order of business.
Oh, man. Yeah. But y'all too, for real, that's what I was just saying. It's starting to storm again. So if we cut in and out, that's probably what it is. It will not quit raining. And now they're yakking about a hurricane. But we let the dogs out right like 10 minutes before we came on. And it was thundering. Like it just started thundering.
James Knowles.
I know, James. This is the third week we've said we need to set a date for real.
Well, maybe he's saying, hopefully he's saying third week of September. That way everybody can get.
I thought he was saying this is the third week y'all procrastinated.
I mean, he could be. He could be. It's a 50-50. We'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have an idea.
What?
I don't know. It may not work.
We're talking about you can't say it on camera yet. Thumbs up.
Ooh, that's our ulterior motive, Mr. Dan. He said if we wait long enough, he'll have some of that lanternfly honey for us to try.
Bribes are accepted, but they guarantee no win.
Yeah.
I can say that.
All right. Well, what's first on your agenda tonight?
I got to get the list out of my pocket. Yeah.
All I can see we need to do this is Liam pulling frogs out of his frog pocket.
Oh, I forgot about that. I had a nephew that he would put frogs in his pocket and pull them out. And Uncle Tim, Handy Boo.
That kid, like, die-hard believes the front pocket on overalls was put there just for tote frogs.
And whenever he said, when he first figured out what a grasshopper was and learned how to say it, all he would say is hopper. And that's what I call him now. There's an old hopper running around. But thinking about pulling frogs out of your pocket, or just frogs in general. Seen a video DC put out,
Mm.
and it's a little short video there, a frog hanging on for dear life. It would look like maybe like a small elephant ear or something. But I can't lie. Whenever I first seen the video and I seen frog hanging on, I honestly thought it was going to be he's putting frogs in a slingshot. He's videotaping this, you know. You remember that story? So, the ones of you that's been here with us for a while, y'all remember that conversation after the bee talk is over with. DC talked about launching them frogs in a slingshot.
Yeah, I got a feeling this is just gonna be one of them strings.
We'll go wherever it takes us. But I do have some, I don't know, kill some time on some pests since I'm on the pest bandwagon right now. Pulling my little red wagon.
Happily.
Yeah, happily. All right, we're gonna bounce back a little bit. And I was gonna say this in the video, but I forgot to say it. But that was our quickest removal doing the little speaker box. We got every bit of maybe 10 minutes between pulling up, putting them in back of the truck, and heading
10 minutes of stretch. If we hadn't had to tape up the front of them like that, we'd been out in 7.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we're gonna fast forward to us cutting them out yesterday. And this got me thinking during the rain. And if we was anything like old Ian Stepper, stay with me, all right? We would have been able to have our props set up, borrowed some elves from Santa Claus, had them
do sarcasm.
Do all the work for us, then we just come in and do the quick shot, you know, getting the bees out real quick. Woo, boy, that was a good, fine, easy removal for everybody.
And everybody knows we're not that talented.
I know, but I could not help but sit down there and think. So, for anybody, Ian knows what I'm talking about if he's in here watching Carrying On.
He's probably laughing his butt off if he's in here.
But, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 months ago. He put a video out and I was rummaging around the comments, looking around in there, and somebody got to Carrying On telling Ian that, you know, well, it must be great you have all these people come in and do your prop setups and all this good stuff. I'm like, me just.
Well, not the video, he was like welding something on his truck, the fork things or something.
Yeah.
Up the pallets with.
Yeah, he had done him a shot right there. Pew, 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 doing a little tacking. He did. But I kind of carry on back and forth with him in comments about that, about props and stuff. And I was like, well, we'd have had us a prop setup. It'd have been over with in no time. Down there.
Yeah.
We could have worked through the rain.
Oh, you mean down there?
Yeah.
Hey, that actually would have been nice. In a very serious way, that would have been nice. It was hot.
And we wouldn't have had to work in the rain. We could have let somebody else do the rain work.
Yeah.
I
was alright in the rain until it started getting hard, but then when the lightning rolled in, I'm out. We'll finish later. But Rodney said he had a water well cover yesterday. And I was done in 2 hours, start to finish.
Bingo.
It's awesome to get them where you can do it that quick.
Going to the house, especially if you're getting paid. That's what I'm talking about. And you're taking the bees home with you, a double.
Yeah.
Call your woman, hey, have me some tea ready because I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He really does that too, yeah. On the rare occasions we part directions, Like, what was it, yesterday or day before? He went and cleaned off Dad's room.
Day for you.
Day before, literally next door. When he goes to walk the 400 yards home from my dad's, he texts me, "Can you get my tea ready?" Like, he's not playing with that. He really means that.
Yeah, wanting something to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Out here burning up.
Lord, he was drenched too.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm sorry. Quit derailing me.
he derailed me. Where else was I going? Doesn't derail. Oh, well, we're done with that. That little kicker's over now. Got a lot of comments of us putting the bees. Finally, Pastor Larry, Miss Jan, and Miss Leona. Once again, thank y'all very much on this.
Oh, yeah.
But back in February, they sent me a little love gift for my birthday. All right. Went and got some 1x12 with that little love gift they sent. Built the little church house, 5-frame church house nuke box. And
what? Somebody in DC called it the chapel home or something.
I forget what it is. But we got a name for it now.
You didn't inform me.
No.
No.
Good thing you can't read my writing, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, built that little 5-frame nuke box, made it like a little church house. And several people saying, you know, who was it? Frank from Galloway was talking about, here's church, here's the steeple, the little nursery rhyme. Then Pastor Larry and Miss Jan, they commented about but it's a good feeling seeing the church house packed and all. And once again, going back to, oh, mercy, it may have been Dennis Barney again on his comment, but he asked about services. When will services be held at the little Bee Chapel church? So, yes. So I got some information for people, and there's I can guarantee you, once I start saying this, there's going to be people that's going with me. They're going to go, yes.
I can name probably 3 of y'all right off the bat. Well, no, Blaine ain't in here. I know he would know for sure.
I'm going to say Philip Lee.
But after the first word or two, y'all are going to recite it in your
Keith Spillman.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike Conley.
About Lee. He'll definitely know.
But there will be some services held at 10 a.m. by the Reverend Billy Ray Collins at the Sword of Joshua Independent Full Gospel Pentecostal Assembly. Y'all ready? Y'all say it with me. Just off of State Road 23 on the frontage road. And he'll be there to remind you it's time to turn before you burn.
I thought it says turn so you don't burn.
So you don't burn. All of them just turn before you burn. But that's what'll be going on with that.
Yeah.
And my last little deal. Now this is kind of on a serious note. Finally got all the cleanup from the beetle mess. Wheelbarrow. Mr. Mike Conley, I got that thing available for you whenever you're ready for it. Mike Conley wanted our wheelbarrow.
Oh.
But anyway, got all that stuff cleaned up and pretty well the bees have been robbing out what they can and been noticing a whole bunch of bumblebees coming to rob.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen yellow jackets. But here's what I noticed. What you got? Oh, that's a big. But here's what I noticed. The yellow jacket being an enemy of the honeybee, and vice versa. They don't care for each other much. The bumblebee is just more of what appeared to me to be an opportunist, you know, free pickings. I'm just here to get my belly full and go back and feed my little larvae kind of thing.
Mhm.
So there was never seen any fighting. The bumblebee running the honeybees off.
Mhm.
But I did see several little bitty honeybees grabbing bumblebee by their legs, and there was no way they was going to drag that honeybee across the cone. But they were sure trying to drag that bumblebee off away from that cone. But then the yellow jackets. The yellow jackets were on the ground. They never come up on top of any of them cones
Mhm.
to try to get them honey or pollen anything out of it. What the yellow jackets was doing was being the buzzards, in a sense, of the insect world, if you will.
Mhm.
So where I'm going, all this was a cycle. The honeybees was cleaning up, getting what they could. The bumblebees was doing the same thing. What the honeybee and bumblebee was not using or did not want, or what was left unalive in that cell and was kicked out on the ground, or two bees was fighting and one died. Anyway, the cycle went around where everything was being cleaned up.
Mhm.
There was nothing being wasted at all from honeybee down to the yellow jacket, but there was no real conflict. I was sitting down there noticing between any of them. That was pretty interesting.
Mhm.
Usually y'all fighting each other to get in the colony and all that. But on this go around, everybody is just pretty well working around each other.
Mhm. But I'm trying to line. Lisa and Russell K and Ricky and Drew.
What I get on in here?
Yes, DC.
Good to see everybody.
Everybody.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Hit the thumbs up button, whatever that does. If you don't mind. I need to Google that and see what it actually does.
I'm trying to talk people into them.
Well, I mean, it's something to do with the algorithm or whatever. That's all I've been able to pick up off of it. I don't know what it actually, if you hit it,
I think it just means talk.
I guess so. I don't know. Everybody says it, so
Oh my
we got to be with the cookie.
gosh.
What?
Rodney. He said, let's see, Lisa, it says, unvaccinated, conservative, meat eating gun owner. How else can I offend you today?
And they left out the Bible believing part.
Yeah, they did.
I'm going to call them about that, don't y'all worry, folks.
But no, Rodney Middleton said he has nowhere to put bees in his, I guess it's homemade there.
Mm-hmm.
65 colonies in his apiary. I was like, man, that's a good problem to have.
Yes, indeed.
DC said you may need to bring home less bees.
Yeah. Call some folks up. Hey, y'all want to start in beekeeping?
Yeah,
I can help you out.
well, Lisa and DC like your shirt,
Thank y'all.
along with Mr. Dan.
Thank you, man. Appreciate everybody.
You made a statement tonight.
Well, I mean, we are the American people. We,
Oh.
the people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I'm not going to get politicking. I just expressed it through my shirt.
So, Lisa, are you getting another, like, an out yard going? She said, I'm going to be moving some of mine this fall.
Well, Rodney, let me ask you this. You get up on so many of them. What about like the House for Hero gig? If there's people in that area But I guess, I mean, there'll only be so many people within a reasonable distance to get somebody these. But
Okay, Lisa, that's cool. Mr. Mike Conley said hitting the thumbs up button means you need to give everyone in your chat $20.
one, but all right,
Mhm. You should know the rules.
I'll use the tactics that the powers that be say all the time. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Wait, for real, DC? There was really a blackout? That is awesome, Lisa. Wow, DC, I did not know that. He said, and I don't necessarily want to open a debate about it, but he said Karis had a blackout after mocking God at the Olympics.
Mm-mm.
But I mean, I didn't even know about what happened at the Olympics until 40 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago. So I surely didn't know they had a blackout.
They've been mocking God for a long time. They're just getting a little bit more bold with it.
I would say that's a lot more bold
Well,
at that point.
just
That's unacceptable.
well, I mean, I
On
know
any
this.
level. But
I mean, we won't turn it. Yeah, we won't turn it
either way,
into.
I did not know that there was a blackout. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, I mean, y'all know us pretty well by now. I feel like a lot of us have the same moral values we hold, but I did not know about that. No, I don't imagine he is any kind of happy.
Well, just the same as him striking that 1800s church down not long ago. Where was that? I can't remember. It was all over TV not too long ago, but they was this and that, blah blah blah. We're gonna allow this to come into church, and it wasn't no time later, boy. A lightning bolt come down and burned that joker to the ground. You tell me?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about my first for today.
Mm,
That's a whole lot of stony hearts,
it is.
not fleshy hearts.
The best thing we do is just pray for folks that the Lord will intervene in their hearts and their lives and change their minds and all that. That's honestly
Wait, did you say that's all we can do or the best we can?
that's what we can do.
But that's the best we can.
Well, you're right. Just leave it up to the Lord, but pray for the people.
I'm not saying that it's all we can, but that's, to me, that's the best.
I mean, we can minister
we
to
can
them
do.
and all that good stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Amen, Larry.
We will
Very well said.
What's that?
He said, this world is in shambles. Most people have forgotten their first love. I thank the Lord Jesus Christ for saving my soul, and I pray for others.
Yes, sir, indeed. Here we go.
That's what I was acknowledging. Well said.
Well, and all that will.
Ricky, you got a point too. He said there is a story about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. And all of it that can be proven too. All right, while we on this then real quick, and I know I've mentioned this before, but the ones of you that may enjoy things like this, go check out Expedition Bible.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, he's got a pretty interesting YouTube. He's an archaeologist, goes out and takes you to the actual places in the Bible, takes the Bible, takes the archaeology and science and puts it all together. And guess what? The Bible's right. But he's got some pretty interesting things on there. And one of them is Sodom and Gomorrah. But while we on that, and how the Lord does for us, we did get an email. We'll get in our prayer list in a second.
That was we had a couple highlights this week, but that was definitely
Mm-hmm. Sean Balters, his wife Angela. We've had her on the prayer list and been emailing back and forth the last, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months with Sean, and he's just kind of been giving us updates on how she's doing. She had to have some cataract surgery done.
both eyes.
And undoubtedly she had multiple surgeries for the cataract.
Well, he said they did one eye, and then a week or so later did the other.
Okay. All right. Well, between the way he put it, she had to use, I don't know, I've never had to wear glasses, so y'all forgive me on this, but
He said his
high
words were,
prescription.
yeah. He said like the Coke bottle glasses, just that she's always struggled with it and had to have a really high prescription.
But like I said, she's been on the prayer list, and everybody out there praying for her. Got an email day before yesterday, earlier this week. And he said the doctor told her that she can now donate all her old glasses, looking glasses, and anything else along those lines, because she was down to a 2.5 or something, I think it said.
Yeah, a very, very, very light. I think that's what they call it. A light prescription. But
he said it got so good for her that after the doctor took the bandage off, well, you can tell them.
Well, they went to Hobby Lobby, remember?
Mm-hmm.
He said she was like a 4-year-old kid running around looking at the different colors and stuff because it's been so long since she could really see them anymore. And I mean, he wrote, I don't mean any of this disrespectfully at all. Like this is exactly what he told us in the email, a really long email. But basically, like she is on cloud nine, being able to see. The doctor told her that he has her back where she started from, like 23 years ago, with her eyes. So it was pretty incredible to hear about it. But she was fighting. She was recovering from shoulder surgery on top of having the eye surgeries. But he said that's coming along really, really good too. He said she's doing good in therapy. She's almost out.
Yeah. So she is moseying on along.
Thank you, Lord. Yeah.
But they wanted to thank everybody out there praying.
Everybody.
So thank y'all from Sean and Angela. They appreciate it very, very much. And yeah. Well, we do the prayer list if you want to do however you want to do it.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I heard just do that one.
So, y'all, if there's anybody we need to add to or take away from on the prayer list, and let us know. I know there's a couple of you that had mentioned earlier, folks to add, and we got you.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Right. We got Mr. Mark Miller, Ed and his wife, Miss Chris, Mr. Pat, the Dirt Rooster's dad, Miss Deb, the Sun Bunny, and look, y'all like say a really special prayer for her. She sent us an email as well, or a couple of them, but I'm not at liberty to say everything she has going on, but I can say this because she did put it in the chat earlier. But yeah, She is having surgery first thing in the morning. So y'all please say like a really special prayer for her, because she's got a lot on her, and between her and her family, you're talking recovery and everything else she's got going on. So all right, then Grammy Lisa, her son and two granddaughters, Bob and his family, Tom's wife and his mother-in-law, the family of Jason Cooper, and that's Bob's friend that's been on here for a while but passed away last week. Mr. Donnie, Mike Tangway, and their whole family. Miss Carla Green, DC's parents, David Hoskins' little granddaughter Emma, baby Luca, and the family that lost their little one. Canada Brad, Deanna Wheeler, and her son Reed, and that's Philip's mentee's best friend. And then Philip's mentee, Rachel Wilson, and Rachel's sister Amanda, and her niece Riley. Philip's mama still on here, and y'all especially remember her since his cousin passed away recently too, that we've been praying for. Philip's friend BJ and his wife, the Jennifer Brown family, Bobby's Bees and his family, Minnesota Mike, his brother Dave, and their family, because his cousin we've been praying for passed away very recently too. Aaron Frederick, Larry and Sherry Gandy, and Mr. Larry's mama, the Cheryl Faulkner family, Keith Larimore, Hillbilly Earl, the Paris family, Icy Mountain Honey, Sandy's family member, the Montalbano family, Boonsong, and that's Bruce with his B's granddaughter, Steve Amos's brother, Danae's grandmother, Spanky, the Headley Hives, Israel, and all the war and storm victims, Mrs. Jeggs, Angela, Sean Bathurst's wife, Mr. Ron, who's Blaine's bee yard owner, TJ with Hanley's homestead, and the local teenager in his town, Stacker Mike, the families of the 4 PD officers killed in Charlotte, Shabu, Ricky Rourke, 29 Homestead, mine and Tim's families, Bob Walker's son, the Peaceful Mind channel guy, Lime, who is Grammy Lisa's friend, had an unspoken request. And then this evening, Catherine added her son and his family. And the last major update is, I don't know how many other people know yet, but
He said it was okay.
yeah, but we've been praying for Ed's dad on here for a little while now, but he called Tim a few nights ago, and his dad had passed away. So he said they weren't gonna do like a service right now, so he's not gonna be going straight out to Texas, but they said they were gonna probably do something in a couple months. So, but Ed, DC, son of one. Hey, Bob.
What you know good there? Oh, Bob.
But yeah, y'all.
Pray for Ed.
Yeah, and his family. They're they're having a pretty rough time right now.
Yeah,
As
but
I'm sure a lot of y'all can understand.
I forgot to put Catherine up there, but I didn't know if you had her down for something else. Pray for at her son and family.
Yeah. And all of our government officials and leaders of this country.
Ain't that true?
But, yeah, so there's a lot of our little bee family that really needs prayers now. No, I was thinking about him a couple of days ago too, DC. I have not heard from him.
No, ain't talked to Earl in a minute. We messaged him. Well, it's been about 8 weeks now because that's whenever we started getting behind on everything. I messaged him and said, Bubba, I need your address. We got something we're going to send to you. And we just got so bombarded with everything we had that we have yet to send Earl what we were supposed to. But Bubba, if you're watching, we finally got it all put together, and it is coming to you.
It is my fault, Earl. The only thing that's his fault is I told him not to tell you about it until I had it ready. But
I mean, Earl don't know what it is, but he just knows there was something supposed to be coming up there to him from us, and we just got bombarded. On one of them, on our end, I guess to kill a few more minutes, we can speak of what one of them was. That brother of mine, my middle brother, he needs prayers in other ways, but
I was trying to figure out.
it was just like every single night my phone was ringing 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's my brother. Well, on the side of the road, I run out of gas, I'm this and that, blah, 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 and he likes to pull on that bottle way too much, and that's a lot of his issue. Well, one of the days, whenever we said, y'all please put us on the prayer list, we had gotten a phone call, and it was my mama hysterical. They're taking your brother to the hospital, don't know what's wrong with him, looks like he was in a bad car wreck and all this, and he's busted up. So, boom, here we go to the hospital at whatever time it was.
I mean, it wasn't late that. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon when we got down there that day.
Yeah, finally got home about 10 o'clock that night. Then, no, 8 o'clock, then had to turn around and go back and get him. But anyway, the next day, we was at work. And Hannah said, you know this cell phone number? And just like anything else, I was like, no, let him leave a message. So, left a message, didn't check it all day. On the way home from work, I was checking the messages driving home.
I finally slowed down enough to listen to the voicemail. You need to call that one back.
Yeah. Lo and behold, it was a detective from one of the local police departments around here talking about, is this your brother? And was you with him and blah, blah, blah? Did you see him, this and that? And it was like, oh, whoa, whoa, we need to come talk to you. Well, come to find out, they thought he was in an automobile accident with somebody that had taken the life of an individual. And thank the Lord, it was just coincidence that he was not in any kind of affiliated at all with the automobile accident and somebody dying. It was just that wreck happened that day. It just so happened my brother had his accident that day, but it was
totally separate.
Yeah, no dealings at all. So we go down there, we talk to this detective for an hour or two, and they giving us the third degree and blah, 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 so on and so forth. And finally got in touch with the detective a day or two later, and he said, you know, no, we just had to look at him because he was in an accident. So thank the Lord, none of that was true. And so y'all keep Hannah's family side most definitely, but that was my issue. So we thank the Lord for no issues. What?
Jack,
Okay. We'll actually get into the beekeeping now. We're what, an hour? An hour in.
We have talked about these.
Yeah, a little bit. Let me get myself wherever I was.
We don't know where you were.
Here we go. Here we go. We're on. Okay, I'm still on the test wagon, but I'm not on the hive beetle, nor the M's. No M's and no B's. Beetles. But I do have some questions, and for the ones of you that, because some of us deal with this, and some of us, there's several we've never dealt with, thank goodness, when it comes to these pests. But if you've dealt with them and you found a way to keep them out of your bees, and if it's something that you believe is useful, let us know just in the event that we come across the problem, or if there's somebody maybe a year or two into beekeeping that's going, well, I had no idea you could have problems with that critter or this critter, so on and so forth. But now the ones I can say that we do observe, as far as if you want to say a pest bothering our bees and potentially create an issue, which it would take a bunch on these two, but well, these three type reptile, the anole lizard, the little green house lizard that you see all over the place, the fence lizard, which we call them scaly backs. It's the little gray. He looks like I don't know. Like he's got armor all of him, jacked up, bowed up little lizard. He's pretty bad in bone. And the blue tail skink.
Yeah.
All right. Now those three little reptiles we have seen in our little 5 years of beekeeping, as far as more of a nuisance than a pest, because we do see them. I mean, they go for the easy picking from what we watch. Hang out on the side of the box, right close to the entrance, ease around, boom, get them a bee, run and go hide up underneath the box, get their little bellies full, then they go lay out in the sun for the rest of the day. The second one would be the tanager, the red and white tanager. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen them birds around here until we started keeping bees, or I just never paid attention to them. But we had a yellow one, tanager, and a red tanager in the yard at the same time, picking bees off. And I'm gonna tell you what, buddy, you talk about some acrobatics. Them birds, I mean,
No joke.
they'd single them a honeybee out, just gone. Go up in the tree and you see its little beak just snacking down. A minute or two later, come back in.
I'm sorry, I was trying to type the thing. Yeah, what we were talking about with Dad this morning, like we thought only dragonflies were like that agile to snatch honeybees out of the air.
Now, them little girls, I mean, girls, boys, whatever they were, they was good. I give it to them as far as you being able to catch a honeybee out the air with your mouth. That's some Mr. Miyagi kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into a little bit bigger critters that I imagine most everybody in the chat can say, all right, I've had an issue. This is how I remedied that issue.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Dan said no lizards in these parts, just the dragonflies hovering at the hives like hawks. And Mr. Larry Gamey just popped in here, and he said dragonflies are my biggest threat.
we got dragonflies times two.
With chopsticks. Yeah.
Now, it's got to be a wet season in the rainy season for us around here. If we get it like last year, we had the drought. We didn't see very many dragonflies, but I mean, I know you do. For in order for their larvae to pupate and carry on, that dragonfly has to be in water as well, like a mosquito. But we haven't seen, except for that one year when the termites were getting bad.
Oh, those dragonflies.
Then yes, we have boon coo dragonfly around here. But haven't seen really a bunch this year. Thank goodness.
Now, Flip, where are you at? And I can't remember where Honeysuckle Farm flipped. He said bears are our problem. Oh, hey, Mr. Martin Miller.
Mm-hmm. We're going there. We're going to the bear.
He said, Mr. Mark said, my problem is bullfrog taking off bees when they go to the pond for water.
Whoa. Whoa.
I never, well, I mean, I guess that.
It's time to start gigging, Mr. Mark Miller. You know what I'm saying? You do the gigging, have her getting that oil good and hot.
I ain't never fried frog legs.
It ain't no different than frying fish.
DC said that sucks, but that's funny. Okay, Flips in northeast Pennsylvania. Okay. No. Yeah, PA is Pennsylvania.
I can't remember if it was him or somebody else I was watching not long ago that was having a bear problem. All right, we'll go to the bear first. The bear is in here since we're on
the
it.
bear is the first thing on your list anyway.
Well, it don't talk about the bear.
Oh, just a picture.
Yeah, it's just a picture. Why don't you show the picture? All right, hold on. Hold off on the bear because the bear is last. All right. The number one, according to this web page, morning chores. Undoubtedly, they do a whole bunch of beekeeping stuff, and it's on the portion of common bee problems, pests. But all right, I'm gonna say across the board, it don't matter where you at. Ants. It says ants are drawn to sweet things, and honey is no exception. It is pretty typical to see a few ants here and there amongst your hive. But when they are in infestation, your colony may decide to abandon ship. If ants are becoming a problem, do your best to keep grasses trimmed from your hive and raise the hive off the ground. I'll have to fuss on that hive off the ground. That's just more height the ants have got to climb because they're coming. I mean, you're not stopping them little jokers. But for us, yes, you'll see an ant here or there running around the box, but whenever we see a trail of them, 100% of the time we have figured out that is a telltale sign for us. Hive beetles are in that box and they have pretty well destroyed things.
Yeah.
But on the ants, what do you use to keep them? What works for you to deter them from your boxes?
Oh, DC said Todd has ant problem. He's lost eyes because of these books.
Yeah.
Nobody else is talking about ants. They're talking about like big things.
We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, one thing that has worked for us, but you need to encapsulate it into something but where only the ants can get in, but no bees can get in there to it. This works good, but it takes a minute. I say about 3 or 4 days for it to work. And I know sometimes you don't have 3 or 4 days for it to work. But grape jelly and boric acid. Put it on a little piece of cardboard or something. Do the CD tricks like you would do for beetles. But here's the trick on the boric acid. Pour enough boric acid in there until that. We use grape jelly, and this is the only way I've ever done it since. But once that purple turns to a pink kind of like a Pepto-Bismol look, it's ready to go. But just mix them together until it goes to turning that Pepto-Bismol look. Boom, leave it out. Ants, they'll be dead and gone before you know it. If you have a couple days to work with. But far as a quick fix to kill them right then, we've tried diatomaceous earth. We've tried the cinnamon trick. Ant poison. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mark said the best thing I've done for ants is lose the inner cover.
Okay.
Really?
I guess I can get up there and post up.
Okay, DC said I've used boric acid for yellow jackets, tuna, and a little syrup or honey. The bees don't get in it because of the tuna.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I remember that one.
Yeah. For sure. Hang on, Philip just sent you too.
Got the pickup truck loaded. He headed home. I reckon.
No, what Russell put in the chat a few minutes ago that he was talking to Philip, and Philip had a whole bunch of surprise honey he was not expecting. So I guess that's all his honey supers coming home to be extracted.
Okay. Well,
Because remember he was, yeah, that's what I was saying. Man, that is awesome.
Let's see if I can show a picture of it.
He was
Oh, it don't
saying
show.
that he wasn't expecting any.
I don't know if y'all can tell anything of that or not. I guess that's Phil's pick 'em up truck right there loaded down. Good job, bro. Heard that.
Good
And
news.
congratulations.
Yeah. That's a happy surprise.
Mm-hmm. Where else was I going? Ants. The only quick fix, and I know some people's fixing to cringe when I say this.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have our bees sitting on 4x4s and cinder blocks. And the horizontal hives, they're legged up with cedar 2x4. But whenever we see that overwhelming run of ants and it's becoming a battle.
Okay. Mr. Larry Gandy says, I agree that the inner cover gives ants an advantage. Steve Amos says, I use the double bubble and there are ants above it, but it seals the cover better. Danae said, we don't do traditional inner covers. We use Refletics as inners. Is that what DC uses?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of reflective looking stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Philip just got in chat. 26.5 supers. I expected about 10. Woo-hoo. That's awesome.
I think that thing keeps it. You hit the button.
Oh, there you go.
We just keep it. We hogging the show for ourselves whenever people could be coming in here. Tell us about it.
Buttons.
All right. Work with me here.
Okay, Steve said Reflectix is double bubble.
Okay. Uh-oh. I know nothing wrong with that.
Try again.
Yeah, redo. So everybody's pretty well in agreement on using that reflective or the double bubble.
Reflectix. But DC said I call it bubble wrap. Just hold your finger down on where you would do your
Paste.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Perfect.
I don't know why they got to complicate this stuff, yeah.
But Steve said I never use inner covers, only the double bubble.
All right. Number 2. We've never had to deal with this, but we've heard several folks in different videos talking about they've had to deal with these critters. And one of the last ones was, or one of the last ones I watched was Darren up there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It was on camera. That little, we're going to talk about the mice or the mouses. Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, Darren had a little mouse. That joker, he was a slick little fella, gal, whatever it was, because it was like whenever he go one way, that little mouse, you'd see it dart out of that box. Boom, 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 back and forth, back and forth. So, what you got?
I was thinking, I was kind of wondering about that, Mr. Mark. He said he doesn't use the bubble wrap because it makes for a maze for hive beetles to hide.
I get that.
Okay, Reflectix is not the same as bubble wrap, but they look the same. DC's disgusted with field mice in his garden.
Uh-oh. All right, so DC is not for the mouse.
Not in his garden.
All right, so what's the ways y'all keep them out? Because like I said, we've never had that issue. I guess because between the dogs, the cats, the chickens, all the snakes,
Thank God we don't have a mice issue.
whatever else, hawks, everything else around here to keep them at bay.
Okay.
But what's a quick little remedy to help keep them jokers out, or is there something that actually will keep them out of your boxes?
Like the term?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because apparently it says most of the time, like during the summer months, from what I was reading. Well, let me read this. It says your bees will do a good job taking care of themselves when it comes to mice. When your hive is active during a warm month, bees will sting mice to keep them from setting up house amongst them. However, in the winter, while bees are more dormant, mice can easily move in, make a huge mess, and destroy the food your bees have saved up for the winter. In fall, as the weather cools, install mouse guards on your hive. These guards allow your bees to come and go as they please, but will not allow mice or other small rodents to enter. So I guess that answered one of the parts of the question, mouse guards. So it'd be pretty much, I had to look them things up. Like I said, I never had to fool with them, so I can't tell you anything about how well they work or if they work.
Yeah. Mr. David Lewis said, I found a hive this week that a field mouse had chased the bees out. DC said small entrances will keep mice out.
And that's just your normal, regular entrances you would use for an entrance. Or a
He
standard
said
entrance.
make an entrance smaller than the mouse's head, about half the size works. They can compact their bones to squeeze.
So they an agile little critter.
Right, Mr. Dan said 3/8" entrance reducers keep mice out. I did not think about the mouse being able to squeeze into something that small.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Okay, Flip said the same thing. Use the 3/8 side of the bottom board. Oh, okay, I got you, DC.
Everybody going 3/8 high. Or a lot of folks. Okay.
I think that's probably the most similar answer to a question we've ever gotten from a group of beekeepers.
So one question,
Hey,
two different
Haley.
answers. Well, what you say there, Carl?
He said, just home from a festival, and I was told from Haley I have to drop in to say hi for her. Well, darling, I hope you have fun out there today.
Yes, ma'am. We appreciate y'all dropping by and visiting for a little bit.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Mr. Dan said a weasel can fit through a hole the size of a quarter. That's pretty wild.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna derail for a second on that, but there's some people I watched on YouTube that they have weasels that
That's your Texican friend.
that's him. That's him. But they use them little weasels to kill the mice and stuff like that on farms and what have you, because they can get it stuck in the confined areas. What's that, Philip?
Well, congrats, Philip.
Hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me with this microphone?
He's having to adjust our end.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, Joey.
What you know good there?
Hey,
Not much. I'm gonna show
there's
y'all
me
my
again,
stuff.
Joey. How you doing, Joey?
What does yours say, Joey?
Stand for the flag.
And kneel for the cross.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Showing that patriotism, people. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was waiting on Philip. I was in the back. I was waiting on Philip to get on. I was going to
Yeah.
take care of
Well, we appreciate y'all joining us. Go ahead, Philip.
All right. Well, I'm about to jump out and wade through these weeds and leave a note on this truck over here. This man's bulldozing, and I want to leave him a note so he can call me. Maybe he can do some work for me. But I think
Oh, that's how you do
yeah,
it.
I'm just starting back home right now. But all right. Yeah, he's clearing this lot just right down the road, about a quarter mile. I said, you know what? I'm getting tired of cutting those trees with my chainsaw.
We know that,
I
family.
think that's true. Yeah, I'm willing to pay pushing jokers down.
Yeah, let's see. See, there's his bulldozer in his truck right there. So I'm gonna leave him a note on his truck.
There you go.
Write it in crayon, Philip.
You know what? I had to use my blue marking pen because I didn't have a pen in the truck. and a receipt. Oh, let me put it on. Yeah, let's put it on his windshield. I hope he sees it. There we go. All right.
Mhm.
All right. There we go.
Well, gentlemen, y'all had any of them mice issues in the southern states, or is it just more the folks in the northern end?
Mr. Larry Queasy said he thinks that's probably people really have a voice.
I guess.
Whoa.
Huh.
Yeah,
don't know.
Joey, you don't treat for mice, do you, Joey?
Not too much.
I treated my colony, my colonies in Capel, but I didn't have time to treat. Oh, I'm showing you my hand there. I didn't have time to treat these bees out here. I pulled the honey yesterday and I spent today. So, but I will. But yeah, the ones in Capel had quite a bit of drop after I treated them. I was getting averaging probably a couple of hundred mites per hive. The newer queens didn't drop very many, but the older queens did.
I think we may have a miscommunication on my end. How'd we do the drone or whatever it was, draw it out? Grown? Okay. Mice. I guess my southern vernacular went toward mites. Or there was a
Oh, mice, not mice. Okay.
I thought he said mites too.
I'm sorry.
Dirty M word, y'all.
Yeah.
Like plural form of Mickey
I don't-
Mouse.
Mouse.
I don't have any mice. I don't have any mice because the rats eat them.
Ooh, totally. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we do have the field rat.
Named them.
Well, I did name them. Now I know we got these critters here. We just mostly threw them one at a time, but we've never had problems with raccoons getting any bees.
Really?
No.
You
Have
just
y'all
never
ever
I
had?
don't guess I have either. No, I haven't.
Now we know JW has hauled off probably 40 of them things in the last couple of weeks. But the only way I would know how to stop them is trap them or trap them and unalive them. But it would be up to you to how you wanted to handle that, I reckon. And they got the old possum in here. And the only time we have fits with any kind of possums is with our chickens. I've never seen them bother the bees or had any issue with a possum at the bees, I don't think. But
Yeah, I don't think a possum would bother a bee.
now,
Probably
I
got
got
a
a
bad
bad delay.
connection
I'm
till
gonna
I get
go
out
out
on the
and come
freeway.
back in.
uh-oh,
It's probably me.
Joey
Yeah,
dropped.
I'm still on country road. As soon as I get on the highway, it'll. Yeah, he said he had a bad delay.
Oh, I guess. Uh,
So, hey Jasper,
like I said, go ahead. We got a delay. Uh, like I said, never had any possums issues on that in the beekeeping. Now, I've heard a lot of folks carrying on about having them skunks getting into their bees or sitting there scratching on the front of that box. Is there a way, or have y'all heard of a way to remedy keeping that old skunk from sitting there scratching on the front of that box, snacking on your bees?
I've never had issues with them, so I've never had to do anything.
yeah. Early on, I set my hives up. Uh-oh.
Easy.
Early on, I set my hives up.
Uh-oh, he's gone now.
His turn. What's that old commercial? Dead zone.
Yeah. I
Well,
hope he's
so,
still between the ditches. But y'all were talking about the 3/8 entrances a while ago, just before I come on. Back when I was working and we used to build our own bottom boards, all mine were 3/8. 3/8 by like 4 inches, and I never had issues with mice at all on those.
from looking at your video,
Yeah,
Joey,
I've started doing that myself.
go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
looks
I was
hungry.
saying, well, I started doing the 3/8 inch high entrance myself. Y'all give me a minute. I'll get out on the highway. I'll get a better reception. But right through here, it's bad.
We'll We'll keep it going. Between the both of you, I mean, as far as looking at your background, we'll wait till Philip gets better connection. But Joey, on your videos, are are you kind of in a field, or are we just seeing like a little portion of a bigger backyard?
It's an old field, is what it is. And
Mhm.
when I bush hog, rats and mice are running everywhere.
Is that what you still run on yours now out there to
Well,
any
uh,
preventative?
my newer bottoms that I've been buying are like standard. Um, you got the choice of the 3/8 or the 3/4 depth or the height. But on those, I might use either the entrance reducer or either some screen to kind of narrow the entrance down a little bit. I've got several like that too. Just I got that 1/8 screen laying everywhere, so sometimes I use that.
Like I said, the closest thing we've had to any issues with a rat or mice is old blasted field rat that hangs out and eats all the leftover chicken feed at night. But as far as anything actually getting into any colonies, uh, we've never seen like, where one's been dragging in old
Yeah,
pieces of paper or anything like that where they're trying to make a little nest in there. Thank goodness, because I imagine they probably could do some pretty good damage if they were left alone for a little bit.
Yeah.
18 inches off the ground for skunk.
well, that might be why I don't
Yeah.
have trouble with them
Okay.
because
Can you hear me now?
I'm sitting on cinder block.
That and Russell said he soaked clogs in ammonia and put the clogs out around the teeth.
Okay. I didn't see Mr. Larry there. We'll go back to the possum for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Larry said the possums would eat the dead ones in front of the hives, but the skunks are skillful at eating them after scratching on the hive. Yeah, because I think it does.
He going back to the box. He said they pee and everything and the bees don't want. If it gets bad enough, the bees will stop. I mean, that makes sense.
If they go to peeing bad enough, I mean, there's been some places where you run up on a mouse nest or rat's nest and you can smell
Mhm.
the aroma from. All right, getting back to the skunks a second. I guess that's why it said everybody's talking about 18 inches off the ground, because undoubtedly if that skunk stands up too high, he or she don't like to stand up real high on its hind legs, because that's the most tender spot. Them getting stoned on their belly or chest, and that's why a skunk won't really get up in the air.
That's so weird. A couple other people mentioned that Fred Dunn has some pretty good videos on battling skunk.
All right. And the one we all been waiting for, that big bad bear. Said you have the rodent scratching the paw prints. If you notice any markers,
Oh, he said Mr. Larry just got a good one about skunk. You can nail the tack strip you put down for carpet around the entrance, and it'll hurt the skunk's paws, and they'll leave their eyes in it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what.
That's neat.
That's smart.
That is. Because you talk
It's
about
smart.
tearing your hands up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I put on leather gloves when we lay carpet.
Or full carpet, anything like that. You dealing with them tag strips and them jokers would lay you open.
Oh my gosh, he said Shane's has tack strips in front of his hives made with 16 penny nails. No, he made the strips with 16 penny nails. Man means business.
He said, I'm over this crap.
Habanero peppers cut up and poured in the rub will stop them.
The skunk.
I reckon.
I like the tag
It's
strip
kind of
idea.
brutal. I mean, I wasn't thinking about 16 penny nails. Ooh. I mean, I imagine it would work though.
Oh, it'll work. He's doubling
I
down
don't
on that.
think anything that's gonna intentionally box 16 penny nails. Alright, I'm sorry. I won't do that before you got elbow deep in the beard.
No, I'm glad you told me about that because I'm 16 penny nails and that. 'Cause you know where my mind went.
Oh yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah,
That's a
the
good idea.
peppers.
Yeah, that man means business.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, my first year, everybody's always got tips and tricks to do. And so they may be some on here that do this, but my first year, a good friend of mine, a guy I worked with, he got into beekeeping the same time as I did. But he went to a different class than I did. And he told me, he said, Joey, what you need to do when you do get your hives, he said, you're going to have to put grease on the legs of them stands where ants can't get on in your hives. So I did. I bought a big old jug of grease and I carried it around and greased the legs of all them stands. And I did that for weeks. And I got tired of that. I just did that. That old grease set out hard as a rock on that thing. And I quit doing it. And I started in 2015 and I have never yet had ants. Unless it was a dead out, I have never had ants in my hive. None of them. Now, I've had sugar ants crawling around the top sometimes. I've never really had them in it. I've had one hive, one of the swarms I caught. I don't remember if I did a video on this or not, but I was feeding them sugar water, and that sugar water was drawing ants to it. It was a little nuke, almost on the ground. And those ants would come to the entrance, and those bees, I don't know what they're doing, but it's like they blowing them. They would kind of bounce toward them, and those ants would just go flying off the entrance. I don't know if they were blowing them off or what they were doing. Kicking them, I couldn't see it, but those ants, when they'd get close to that entrance, that bee would just kind of like jump toward him a little bit, and the ant would go. Almost like they had wings. I sat there and watched it.
I can see the kicking part. We've got a couple videos of bees kicking each other. You have to we got them slowed down in slow motion of bees kicking one another.
Really?
And of a hunt. Wait a minute, yellow jacket and a wasp kicking each other. So maybe what he's doing is just giving more field goal.
Yeah.
Lisa, we tried that, honestly, in the open feeder he makes with the 5-gallon bucket. We have instead of seeing what that thing looked like at the end of a couple of years ago, but we did that with water. Like we bought one of those huge aluminum roasting pans and filled it with water and set the bucket down in there. And the stupid ants just made a bridge with each other from the edge of the pan full of water all the way across to the bucket and still attack the bucket with the sugar water in it. could not believe it. She said, I've seen some use bowls with oil or some kind of liquid as a moat.
That's when I threw my hands up. When I seen them creating a bridge with one another and traveling back and forth amongst their own little bridge, I told her that day, I said, I'm done. They can, the bees can fight them, whatever. I said, I'm done battling the ants for the open field.
Could you imagine if a human was as strong per pound as an ant is, or per weight?
We've had some incredible folks walking around, is all I can say.
I imagine that first little ant hanging on to that dry spot. I bet his little muscles got to shaking. So those ants.
When's my break, boss?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next shift to take over.
You know it sounds one of them fellas sitting there shaking. Hold it together.
So I saw a program where this guy studied ants, and he would take them. You know how they'll float on water?
Mm-hmm.
They'll make a little raft out of their bodies, and he did some great video where he pushed them underwater, and they formed a ball that trapped air, so it would pop them back up out of the water. They would rearrange themselves so they would create maximum buoyancy and pop back up again. You couldn't hold them down. They were amazing.
I think we've seen the same video, Philip. He'd pull them up too.
Yep. They hang on to each other. Yeah, he was
You see it on the river a lot back when my dad had a camp on Pearl River.
Mm-hmm.
When the water started going up, we used to go through a place called Friday's Ditch there. And when that water started going up, that's the only time you could go through that ditch to get to Middle River. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about there, but once you've seen that, you see ants started making bridges from the ground up to limbs where everybody could get up there. I don't know what the last ones did. I guess once everybody got up on that limb, they just started crawling on up, hanging there.
Hold on, little buddy. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to move on from the ants. He's been battling ants in a really bad way. He said, can we please move on from the ants?
Yes, bro. We'll move on.
Larimore said, Todd's getting stressed. I'm sorry, Todd. I shouldn't laugh. I am sorry.
He probably
wait a minute. There's not any ants in California. They stop them all at the border. What's he talking about?
Oh.
Todd, that's Philip Morris at RTXD.
Hey, I messed with Todd. I think I put a comment one time when he was talking about ants. I said we need to start checking those. We need to start checking those bees coming out of California, not going into California.
Yeah, Todd said it's a touchy subject for me right now.
Yeah, Todd's blowing all my ideas about California because I always say California weather is 75 degrees, but he's blowing that.
We was watching a weather update somewhere not long ago. Well, the people over across the pond somewhere were putting their heads in the fountains and all this kind of good stuff. And the daytime temperature in Fahrenheit was 75 degrees. And they were talking about it was a major heat wave over wherever they was at. And I did just that right there, Philip.
75 is a cold front. That's what are you talking about?
No, yeah. When I was watching a news report. It was a year ago or maybe two, when Britain had England had their worst heat wave ever, and they were all wanting to talk about climate change, and their high was 82.
Oh no!
No, Todd said that was 75 at night, Philip, not during the day.
Well, it's hot. You know it's hot around here when the low doesn't get out of the 80s. But we've been having pretty good weather this last week. So even today was hot, but
What
it was
gets me down
survivable.
here though, if we didn't have a thermometer, there's a lot of times when the 80s, mid 80s, feel hotter here than the 90s do.
Yeah,
It really,
humidity.
really is. I mean, you think it's scorching hot out here and you're sweating to death, and you look at the temperature and it's only like 85. Where
Yeah, you
yesterday
can't.
it wasn't as hot, but it was in the 90s, you know?
Over there
So,
tapping on that mercury, talking about that's wrong.
What's
yeah.
wrong with you?
Yeah, when that humidity gets so high that your sweat doesn't dry, then you sure enough get hot.
Okay,
But
Illuminate's talking about 90 degrees, and David Blue is talking about 67 degrees.
I was trying to see in the chats. Grammy said hello a while ago, and I thought I said hello back, but I don't know if it went
I
through.
can't. Yeah, I
Anyway,
can't
hey,
see him.
Grammy.
So yeah.
That's true, Lisa. What appears as fog here is really steam.
Yeah.
So Joey, you said you're getting on here to. Joey was getting on here to make fun of me. I didn't pick up what he was making fun of me about. There's plenty of you can pick.
Is that what I said?
That's what you said.
I
I
thought I
thought you was
just
going
said
to make fun
Leslie.
of me. I thought you were going to make fun of me for catching you on swarm traps. We're tied now, 16, since you gave me credit for my water meter storm.
I got another water meter call I'm going to this week. Look at.
I was on the phone with Mike, the Minnesota beekeeper, when I caught the queen or found the queen in that water meter today.
Oh, yeah.
Dealing with them water meters. Too bad it ain't like the old timey days where they had to run around and get out of the pickup truck and physically look at the numbers on the meter. Because that could buy you a
Yeah.
good month or so. Talking about, I got to find a beekeeper to get them out of here. So
Yeah,
come on back
exactly.
next month.
They just added on the next month.
You right. Okay.
Amen, Lisa. I'm going to shut up like you. We're running out of time, but
Oh, we got time. We can go to work tomorrow. We got time tonight, people. We ain't even
All
got
right,
to.
look at jobs tomorrow.
Tim, I'm gonna be getting with y'all. I was looking forward to meeting y'all at that thing in Slidell, and it got canceled. So what I want to do when I can get a good day or a couple days, maybe me and my wife will take off that way somewhere, and we can meet up with y'all and go out and eat somewhere. I'll take y'all out to eat.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you don't have to take us out to eat, but we would love to meet.
Yes, sir. We'd love to meet with you, Joey.
Absolutely, we would love to meet with y'all.
I'll try to
Well,
get something lined up.
no, instead of y'all moseying out, unless y'all just like to drive over to Mobile or go to the Gulf or something, if nothing else, we can meet y'all in Biloxi or Gulfport over there and do a halfway thing or something.
Or we can go the other way and meet up with Philip. He owes me a lunch
Yeah, come
anyway.
on.
Last time he was going to buy my lunch, and I paid the bill before he knew it.
Yeah, that was dinner. Yeah, that was dinner at that chicken place
Yeah.
that Brian took us to.
As
Yeah,
he's eating.
it tasted. If I'd known it was free, it would have tasted even better.
Yeah. You might would have got something else.
Right. I'd even got something for you, Joe, if I'd known you was paying for it.
I tell you what, we might have to go back there again next year.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good place.
Mm-hmm.
They had some. What was it? Hot honey. I know they had some honey. I think it was hot honey. And some
I
biscuits.
remember them having something. Seemed like it was a little warm, maybe. So anyway, I wanted to tell y'all that. So we're gonna try to get together and do
Yeah.
something there.
Absolutely, brother. We'll so do it. We'll make a day of it. And,
Well, I guess I need to. Does the expo tickets go up in price at the end of this month, or have they already gone up?
I hadn't even looked. I know Cayman
I
was
hadn't
on
got.
last night.
Yeah, I know it was July or something, but I was having heartburn about going because I wasn't going to be getting much honey. I didn't think, I wasn't going to be having any income off my bees, but they surprised me.
Well, that's a good kind of surprise.
Oh, absolutely. My back hurts from hauling all that honey, but I'm not complaining. I don't ever complain about picking up a heavy honeysuckle.
That's it. Especially when you wasn't expecting much at all.
No, I was resigned to the fact that I was going to get maybe half of what I got last year, but I'm going to actually blow past what I got last year, out at the farm. I'm still only getting half of what I was expecting or got last year in Cabell, but this will help.
Well, I didn't get much tallow, but I got like 1,400 pounds
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
really good.
yes, sir.
That's awesome, Joe.
Of course, on the next video or two, I don't have that much because I'm about a month behind on videos.
Well, you know how that one goes too.
Well, hang on to some of those. 'Cause that'll get you through the winter months and have you something to put out there.
Oh, Joe, Mr. Dan said Lee invited everybody over for a gumbo.
That's right, you did, didn't you?
Okay, we go to Lee's.
Yeah, that's right. Lee was late. Lee was late getting on the chat, so we volunteered him to host us. Lee said he was late going. He's out of town when that Slide L conference was going to be, and I told him just leave the key under the mat.
There you go.
And tell us which freezer the gumbo's in so we can heat it up.
Steve Amos is in favor.
I'm assuming that got canceled because he couldn't get vendors. That's what I'm understanding.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think most of the people that were there wasn't there for vendors. They were there to hear speakers and meet people.
Yeah, but I bet he had to have those vendors to make his numbers, Joe. He's probably going to go in the hole without some vendors.
It might have been.
But those vendors probably pay at least $200 a piece to be there.
And another thing, I'm kind of wondering if it might have been because it was so close to Louisiana beekeepers convention. Could have been.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about going until I looked at the lineup of speakers, and then I was like, "That's pretty good." And then Tim and Hannah said they were going. I'm like, "Dang it, I got to go now." But you know what? You should have. Tim and Hannah, you should have sent the word out that you was going, and then the vendors would have come.
Yeah, what are y'all doing? we were looking at everybody.
Are you saying because we didn't?
We should have told them earlier. That way the vendors would have swarmed in. See what I did there? Swarmed in. Would have said, let's do this thing.
I do know that I'm not going to say which one it was, but I talked to one of the vendors there. I talked to him at the Nobby and asked him if he was coming back, and he said probably not. And I said, why? And he said he sold one item.
Really?
Wow. He was there 2 days and sold one item.
Wow.
There ain't no telling, but you have to, Philip, I don't know if you said something a minute ago, you're breaking up a little bit, but however much one of them vendor spots are, and if you don't make at least break even,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
true.
I don't know how much they are. I would say that'd be a couple of $100 probably for each day. I would imagine, but I don't know.
I don't know. That'd be a bummer to go and just sell one thing. I guess be discouraging in some way. 'Cause you think, well, I mean, is it worth the time and effort to put all this together, load the truck up,
Yeah.
do all that on top of spending room for motel, room to eat, or hotel, whatever? You could probably easily drop $1,000 in a weekend.
A lot of those vendors have have people hired on to do that stuff too, so they have to pay somebody's salary to be there and pay for all their meals and all that stuff.
I understand that, but I'm still bummed about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just even more for us to get with the lead. Like we had discussed.
So you got a Southeastern Beekeepers Conference.
Yep. Have our own get up. And look, it's free to meet on the public beach.
This time.
Well, you can have it in the fall.
I was gonna say, you talk about miserable. It's hot.
I was kind of on the fence about going to Louisiana's convention, but I think I might be going now.
Yeah.
That's a long ride from here. That's all the way to the other side of the state from me.
Where are they having them? Louisiana.
I done forgot now where it's at, but it's up in northwest Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
You going to it, Philip?
I hadn't even looked at it, Joey. Is that Shreveport? Is that where it is?
I'm gonna have to look and see where it's at.
There's not much in northwest Louisiana except Shreveport.
It's not all the way across the state. It's about halfway up there, I think. It may be close to Shreveport.
Alexandria and Natchitoches are kind of in the middle of the state.
Yeah, that may only be about 2 hours from me.
Oh, it's
Shreveport's only about 3 hours from me, but it's another hour down to South Alexandria or that area.
That'd be a pretty good ride for you.
Yeah.
DC said the Northwest Beekeepers Expo. I will build it. They will come. I like the optimism, DC. No, the Northwest Beekeeping Extravaganza.
Well, I mean, you honestly don't hear too many folks doing any kind like a big. I mean, I imagine they have a few little beekeeping get-togethers, but you really don't hear of much being on that side of the country over there.
They said they'd come to that one, DC. He's making a plan here. Oh, hey, Darren.
We talking about you earlier having that mouse problem last year.
Needed your input, Darren. You still want to become a millionaire? I'll send you a ticket. Your fairs. We're going back to fairs now.
Well, we can talk about the bear that we just left out. Who has a bear problem?
Not me.
Not me.
There's a fella about 3 miles south of us that had a black bear get into a bunch of his not too long ago. And thank goodness he had everything insured. He said at first the insurance company didn't want no part of it. And he said, I told them to come out here and look. That they pretty well, y'all need to come look and take care of this. This is why I pay my insurance. And he said finally somebody came out there and looked at it and was like, yeah, it looks like a bear got into your bees. And he's like,
They do, don't they?
Yeah, Captain Obvious. No, it's
So his solution was brilliant.
it was crazy. Even I wouldn't even go to those extremes.
That'd be nice.
This dude,
It was very original.
this dude took. Okay, he had black bears get into it, and here in Alabama, we cannot. You can't shoot at one, shoot one, anything. If not, they'll do everything they can to lock your tail up. For you have to pretty well have attack marks, flying to the hospital via helicopter in order for them to justify you not getting in trouble for taking out a bear around here. But I know up in the North Country, you can. There's a little bit more lenience on that end, but uh, outside of the only thing I can think of is watching other people's videos is sticking up that wire fence, keeping their tails out. Be the only thing I know of for a bear.
Yeah. Yeah, this is super hot. And last
Yeah.
one, so I got a black calf on Sunday. Or a black calf that keeps turning over one of my nutes, and those bears are over the
And blasted cows.
I'm wild, Mr. Dan. He said the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Game Commission will cover losses to bears the first time, but from there out, it's on you. Well, what's the point in paying insurance and registering your bees? They're not going to help you with it at all.
Well, they may have a different get up than what Alabama does and things like that.
Mhm.
But, I mean,
I got a friend in North Louisiana that has trouble with bears, and he was keeping his hives inside of cotton trailers. Y'all know what a cotton trailer is? They don't use them anymore. They're kind of like a trailer with like a wire cage around it.
Okay.
But the bears figured out how to crawl over the wire wall and down into the trailer to get the bees. So he had to figure something else out.
Yeah. The old dude around here, he took and bought two 40-foot Connex boxes, put them about 18 feet apart from outside to outside, and he basically built a dance floor on top of it. And that's where he put his bees, up on top of those Connex boxes. That's exactly what I said. I was like, bro, I said, what are you doing as far as inspections and getting your honey and stuff? And he's like, well, I have to get the tractor with the forks on it and, put everything up to the top. I was like, hey, lost your mind doing all that stuff. You've been cheaper buying a hot wire and sticking around there.
Oh, those Connex trailers are $3,000 or $4,000 a piece, aren't they?
Yeah, shoot, yeah. On top of what you're spending on treated plywood and, your floor joist and all that stuff to build that little dance floor up there. And I was just thinking as far as hassle. When it comes time to getting your honey, taking them boxes, doing all that, I was thinking, nah, ain't no way in the world. We would just get some T-posts and hot wire the mess out of that thing.
I figured the bears would find their way over to Central Texas, but they hadn't yet. Because they're all up in Arkansas and Louisiana, and I think in Oklahoma too now. We're surrounded by them. But
I don't know anybody that's seen right around my area, but I know just a little bit, about an hour's drive east of me over in Mississippi. There've been several sightings around Purvis, Mississippi, and Poplarville area.
Now,
Yeah, a week or two ago, they. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was just gonna say, in my 42 years of being around here, I could probably literally count on one hand how many times we've seen, any black bear running around, and 99% of that time was them crossing the highway.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Philip, Steve Amos said that's because everybody weapons in Texas. The bears ain't migrated over because everybody's got weapons.
Well, there's supposed to be a big cat at the farm. A lot of people have seen a big cougar walking around.
Really?
But I haven't seen it yet.
Y'all got that Black Panther too, huh?
But it's shown.
Yep.
The elusive Black Panther. He said cougar, though, not a Black Panther.
No, I think it's a tan one.
It's not the
Well, I mean, we used to have
But Sarah, yeah.
What they
I've
call
talked
it,
to several people who've seen it. Yeah,
That's an eerie sound to hear one of them cats at night time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So about 2 weeks ago, somebody saw it.
Come through here. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Phil.
Okay. Yeah. About 2 weeks ago, somebody saw an alligator in Capel. Capel's close to Dallas. People lost their minds. But it didn't. I grew up around those things. It didn't bother me at all.
I was gonna say, I thought Texas had gators too.
They got them up. They got them in southeast Texas and up in around Caddo Lake and all through there. But they're just kind of getting their way over to the north. They've probably been here 10, 15 years. But they were telling people not to. They were telling people not to fish, and I was like, "What the heck? You couldn't go fishing if the gators kept you from fishing where I grew up."
That's wild.
You fish with the gator.
That same river I was talking about earlier, I spent all my childhood on those rivers and a lot of my younger adult years on those rivers. And back in the canals and everything, never did see gators there. Only for the last 15 years have there been as many gators now on that Pearl. I don't know what it is. You can't go down there now and not see a gator.
Right.
It's just weird.
They got really bad when I was growing up in the '80s. That's when they started opening the season back up finally. Because they kind of became news. I remember when I was a senior in high school, the girl in our class, her grandfather had killed the state record at the time. It was 13 feet 9 inches, and he brought it up to the school so we could see it. That's a big damn lizard, 13 feet 9 inches. Now I think it's well over 14, 15 feet now.
But that's like that woman up in the Delta killed that one. It was not deer. She didn't have a tag for it, and it wasn't. Well, basically, it boiled down to the woman didn't have a tag is the reason they didn't give her the state record. But it was 15.2.
Wow.
15 foot 2 inches alligator.
Yeah, they grow big down here.
I used to have a news article.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
Joey.
That's all right. Somebody brought a paper to work one time. It was a news article. Uh, I done forgot what state it was in now. It might have been in Mississippi. And somebody here may have heard this story before, but someone had killed an alligator in a swamp and brought it home, and they had found, I done forgot, it was several dog collars in that gator's stomach.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Them dogs would go through that swamp. They found him in like a little lagoon, and dogs running deer and everything up in those swamps. And anyway, when they opened him up, I think it might have been like 20 something collars in that gator's stomach.
That old gator found him a taper. Oh,
That was, yeah.
Positive, we have lots of chupacabras here in California.
you got to watch these things.
Yeah.
Just like Joey did with them rougarous over in Louisiana.
Yeah. What a
The
damn
what?
thing.
The rougarou,
Oh,
the old swamp monster.
Don't worry, Todd. The fires are going to get those chupacabras.
Oh, Phil, you is breaking up for every word of it.
It's better. I didn't. It was a mean thing to say anyway.
It's Jesus censoring you, Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
I had an uncle live by us when I was a kid, and when he would hear something in those woods at nighttime, it was a
Is that
hippofront.
Phil talking?
That's me talking now.
It was a what, Joey?
Hey,
He
breaking
called it
up.
a
What was it?
hippofront. If he didn't know what it was, Joey's a hippofront in them woods out there. You hear him?
What? A hippofront?
Hippofront. That's what he called anything he didn't know. Kind of
Oh,
like the big anything he didn't know what it was out in them woods, he called it a hippofront.
I have a cousin I have a cousin that goes on Bigfoot hunts.
what?
He came out to the farm. He went out at night and tried to call in a Bigfoot when he was out there.
Why do you not have video of this, Phil?
I should have.
You
My brother and I just
said-
stayed in the cabin and made fun of it.
Okay, I'm going to debunk, for people in the South anyway, I'm going to debunk the Bigfoot theory. And here's why. And every Southerner will know this whenever I say this. Because all the centuries old Big Feet been running around here, elusive in the woods, and only been able to get him with fuzzy cameras. Okay? And this is why I say there isn't one. Because any country boy, redneck, whatever, if they'd run across one and actually unalived a Bigfoot, that joker would have been on the hood of the pickup truck at the closest filling station.
You can set that redneck up with $1 million cash if somebody actually found Bigfoot.
I got me a Big Feet.
Mm-hmm. No game camera footage.
He walks around him. He's gonna get used to them bad boys.
All right, hey, back to beekeeping just a second.
Okay.
Keith Larimore, he said, I know it's a bad subject, so we'll forgive you for that this time, Keith. But has anybody tried the Reaper vaporizer? It's a bit cheaper than Instapot. Slip sound with you, Tim. DB Cooper is.
Yeah.
Beeper vaporizer for 08.
Larimore, but
I hadn't seen that. I'll have to look that up. I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
maybe there's somebody in here that said, "Well, I've tried it.
Well, he's already gone. I'd tell you to, just have him compare all the pros and cons for you.
Well, I'm trying to think of what that one Ed has. I think Ed's got a cheaper version of the
Yeah,
vaporizer, but I cannot think of the name
yeah,
of
that
what it
thing was
is.
called like a BP or something. I don't know how that
He's
worked
ready.
out.
I don't know if the first time I'd ever heard of it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that either. I'll have to look that up.
Reefer
That's me
vapor.
too, Keith. I have no idea.
Yeah, wish I had a little further on it for you, bro.
Was that question for Edwin?
I tell you, well, take a screenshot of the name of that. And Keith, what I'll do, I'll
I,
text Ed tomorrow evening and see what the name of his is.
I
I
still
don't
There you
got
think
go.
the
that
old
was.
ProVap. I'm out with.
Yeah, ProVap's pretty expensive, but it works good. I bet.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
I was.
honey, clear, but
Honey Beat Care.
I guess it's a company name where he found it. Called the Reaper BP Food Fund.
Oh, is it a BP? I think that's what Ed has.
So it's $195 for the wall. But that is a good bit cheaper than Instagram.
Yeah, 'cause I think some of them things get what $300, $400, $500 for some of them vaporizers.
Well, the thing you got to watch out for on those kinds is if it doesn't have a battery protection on it, it'll ruin your batteries. And that's what I mean. Even the Instavap early on was running the battery too low and destroying batteries, but they fixed it. They put a switch in it. Now it's like it works just like a drill or anything else that's wireless. It'll stop working before the battery gets run down to too low.
Oh,
But
you're
I would
breaking
imagine.
up.
Sorry about that.
I hear him pretty
I would,
good.
Really?
yeah,
Maybe it's us. It's trying to storm again.
yeah. I hear you guys are breaking up on my end too, Hannah.
Do what?
But I said y'all are breaking up a little bit on my end sometimes when I'm just listening.
Okay.
It may be us, but Joey keeps sending that Louisiana weather over here.
I really wish you'd quit that
Well,
too.
it's coming from Texas, y'all. It's just passing through.
You're just passing it along, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, Philip, then I guess you need to quit sending it. Joey's passing the buck.
Hey, I'm not going to complain about rain in July and August ever.
No, not a bit.
We have times over here when they want. I mean, everything's still green at the farm. It's usually everything's usually dead.
It's raining here right now.
Really. I think we got a little shower on Friday, but not much.
It'll rain for an hour,
Quit
stop
for
for an hour.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Rain again.
I pulled my solar wax melters out a couple of weeks ago, and I got like 4 good days, maybe 5 good days, melting wax in little small blocks. And then this weather started coming in, and it stays cloudy. Sun would come out, and just about time it all melt, start dripping, the sun would go back behind the clouds again. So I just got to put it all in a pot, cook it down, and be done with it. Looks like it.
I'm over this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I built my little homemade one, and it was doing real good when it was 105 degrees, but our highs have been low 90s and some clouds, and it hadn't done anything in 2 weeks. course, it's not real
Oh
efficient.
my
I think I need
gosh,
to work on it.
Mike. You should say what you want, but napalm has 100% Mike.
Well, that'll do it. That's for sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and what else?
When y'all were talking about mice, I have trouble with mice getting into my equipment in the wintertime, not the bees, but just the stored equipment. And they'll go through, and because I use fishing line to reinforce those frames, they'll go through and cut every line in there. I'll have to restring them all.
Huh.
I get that.
All right, Philip, I didn't hear a word at all.
I said I have trouble with mice getting into my equipment. If I have frames in there, they'll go in and cut the fishing line on all the frames.
Okay.
Okay, but not in with the live thing.
Yeah, not with the live bees. They don't mess with
Yeah,
them.
that was in the stored equipment.
Yeah. Of course, I use for the most part, I use the 3/8 inch high entrance on my bees, pretty much year round.
Yeah.
Hey, Minnesota Mike just put a comment in y'all were just talking about the wax melters. He said he put a brooder lamp over his solar wax melter. It worked pretty fast.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I was gonna try to do this and do a video, but a buddy of mine said that he put his pot that he usually melts wax in. He put it in. He's got a honey warming box just like mine. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it's the upright freezer. He said he put that thing in a little bit of water and a whole bunch of wax cappings and turned that temperature up to about 155, 160 degrees and let that melt. He actually had a paint strainer in there too and let it sit there a day or two and get melted good. Then he'd take it out and just strain it in his honey warmer.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine might get that hot with the light bulb.
Well, mine will get 155, but I'm scared to try that in the one inside my building. I know we
Yeah,
used to put heat lamps in those. We used to put heat lamps in refrigerators all the time, keep rods dry. But that was outside in a shed somewhere, you know. But
right, yeah.
I might have to
I'd
put
like
one
to
up.
know. I'd like to know that it was at least going to stop itself at some point.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing I did do. I took the pot that I melt wax in. I put it in my solar wax melter just to kind of like preheat the water, and it came to a boil a lot faster when I did that. So I took, I had the pot with the wax and all that, put it in that solar wax melter, and instead of taking 30 minutes to boil, it took like 10.
Joe, can you see the chat?
Do what?
Can you see the chat?
Yeah.
DC's talking to you.
Okay. I'll have to do it. I'm gonna give it a shot. But I'm almost a month behind on videos already, so it may be a while.
Yeah.
Well, nothing else had to be good. Once again, winter video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got up Saturday morning looking for Joey's video and couldn't find it.
Yeah. It's almost done.
What?
Joey's video.
Um,
I can't say it. I'm so inconsistent on these things.
we didn't run out of stuff. We just run out of time to make movies. Debut it for the X-Files. Oh, man.
I I caught a swarm in the tree this weekend too. But I videoed it. I videoed it, but I don't know. I have to see. But I didn't have a tripod, so I'll have to go back and look at it and see if there's anything I can put together on it. But yeah, they swarmed. They swarmed while I was collecting honey. And I waited till the next day and went and got them.
Rodney said, "Hurry up every chance I get. I don't have time to hurry up."
Ain't that the truth? What's he talking about? Bob Benny was tasting green honey this morning.
Is that mint video he put out?
He was tasting the mint honey. It was I don't forgot what they call it. Some kind of mint.
Let's go back and check that out.
Did they put mint in it, or were they working mint? The flower?
No, it was a certain flower that grows, and it just happened to be in an area where it was populated enough to actually get some honey out of it, and they brought him some. He knew what it was.
Mountain mint.
I have a little mint basil in my front flower beds, and the bees love that stuff. It's blooming about right now.
Yeah, everybody's saying a mountain mint, but it's supposed to taste horrible.
Yeah, they said it had a bad aftertaste too.
Well, I'm reading the comments too. On the mints and bears and big feet. We didn't even cook tonight, y'all.
Yeah, because I cooked last night. We had leftovers tonight.
I'm talking about on our end of the beekeeping. Usually it goes from talk about bees for a minute, then we get into some kind of
food related topic.
Yeah.
So, Joey, do bees work magnolia blossoms?
I don't know. I've never seen it here, but when we were up at Hot Springs, Arkansas, honeybees was actually on those magnolias up there. And I've never really noticed them down here, so I don't know if it's a different magnolia or what.
Yeah, those magnolias have a really strong smell to them for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I know
that mountain.
I've ever seen in her front yard.
That mountain laurel reminds me of magnolia. It's got a real dark green, slick leaf, but it's more narrow than a magnolia leaf. And the flowers kind of remind me too. They're smaller and spindlier. But so I was wondering what the regular magnolia honey might taste like. Because mountain laurel to me looks a lot like a magnolia tree. It's terrible on the honey end. According to Bob Benny.
I thought it was poisonous too.
The mountain laurel? Yeah, I think so. What they call that funny honey? That mountain laurel?
Yeah, it's got some toxin or something in it. It can't be too bad because Bob will give it to his employees just to see their reaction.
I'm trying to think on that magnolia. It seems like I've heard about them pulling on one of the two varieties, I guess, or however many. I know we got the southern magnolia and the whatever they call the other magnolia.
The steel magnolia.
Just steel magnolia.
Whatever.
They grow up around Natchitoches, I think.
I think
On
I
the front
took a
porches.
picture of those bees. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I wasn't even listening to y'all. Mr. Mark's talking about fresh apple pie.
Eating apple pies.
Mm-hmm.
So you got me to thinking I need to put some honey supers on and harvest some of that snow on the prairie honey, and then take it to Nobby and act like that's the best stuff ever was, and get people to taste it.
Yeah, tell like you got to try this.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that with a straight face.
Put it in for the honey tasting. Just set it up there for it.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah,
In the
then sit there and
backyard.
watch them tell that jar.
Yeah, I thought I had a picture of those bees on that magnolia up there. I'm gonna try to find it. While I was looking through pictures, there's my old motorcycle.
Yeah. He's got a real heart.
Yeah, his ain't hardly a Davidson.
That was my first brand new motorcycle. That was
Oh,
back in the 70s.
wow.
Check out them old bell bottom.
I used to have hair.
I had that little mini bike on the trailer a couple weekends ago. We was up there at her grandma's, and I went to fill the truck up and fill up that little mini bike. An old fella asked me, he said, "That thing, I can tell right now that thing ain't no Harley Davidson." And I said, "Well, what makes you say that?" He said, "Because you ain't got to keep on with that throttle to keep that thing running." And I was like, "I got to."
Well, hey,
I don't
Joe.
know. I don't know what makes people do that.
But Steve said that he has a big leaf magnolia and the bees may work. I thought he said work. That's the stupid part was covered.
Okay,
Well.
I guess that may be the difference. You got the big leaf and the southern. Now, yeah,
Okay, great.
the one that your grandma's
Yeah.
gonna be one of them big leaves.
Yeah, the ones where I grew up were, if there's a bigger leaf than those, I wouldn't be able to imagine it. Those leaves were big as your hand.
Good grief, you talk about burn a lawnmower up.
Oh, wonder. Steve said I used to judge barbecue, and every once in a while a team would cover the meat with cayenne and mint sauce. Was not a fun experience. That sounds just really, really hateful.
You know, cayenne's got its place, but I never have been a big fan of cayenne on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to not use. It's hard to get the right amount because just a little bit too much is way too much.
Yeah, that's a dangerous spice to cook with if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, he said the large leaf magnolia leaves are over a foot long. I don't think
Yeah, that is. No, I don't think that ones where I grew up weren't quite that big. But they were probably 8 inches long, for sure.
I can't get it on there now.
But I will give it to them. They smell good. My sniffer. Oh, sorry, Joe. I was in the chat.
Let me start it over. Well, that was a short video.
We saw it.
Man, where I grew up, those magnolias would get like 40 feet around, and the limbs would come down to the ground, and you could walk inside of them. It was like it was being in a room because it wouldn't let anything grow in underneath there. Talk about easy to climb. As a kid, you could climb up in those things.
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
knew you was there.
That's the way that one is at Mama's. I used to get up in it all the time during Halloween, scare all the kids when they come. But before I started videoing this, they were like 5 or 6 in that same petal, that flower right there, and that was a magnolia. They were all in it.
Okay, so I do work it.
That big
That
old
was
flower,
up in
they can feel their little pollen sacs in their belly button.
that was up in Arkansas, so I don't know.
You talk about a good climbing tree, though, like you said. You find a good magnolia, buddy, you can, well, it's an all-day event.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over that thing.
But that magnolia, me and Mama planted it. I was probably 10 years old, and after it grew up, I used even all the way up to my kids were big enough to climb the tree. I used to get up in it every uh, Halloween. Kids would, cause right by the gate, so those kids would have to come through that gate, and I'd climb up in that tree, and I'd be quiet until they already got to the door and got their candy and started back out, and I'd go to shaking that tree, hollering like a gorilla. It was about 30 yards from the door to the cars where they parked, and it didn't take but 2 steps.
Okay, so I wonder how many went home with wet britches after that too, Jeff. Oh man. Yeah. Fun time.
Southern magnolia. But that magnolia at Mama's, it shades her whole front of her house. It's only about 30 something foot wide, but it shades that whole front of that house.
We got a few of them here in the yard. It's a battle between looking at them and going, one day I'm going to cut y'all down. Then it's like, well, I reckon
Yeah.
I'll leave you up there for a little while longer, just see what you do. But if they weren't such a pain in the behind to cut the leaves up or rake or anything like that, it wouldn't be so much a big deal. But good grief, you talk about trying to keep up around the bottom of that tree.
Do you try to mow up to the tree, or you let them come down to the ground?
I just blast through all of it. Whatever gets chopped up gets chopped up. I'm to that point now.
That's what I'm saying, though. Most of the time, they'll grow down. The leaves are just right around the edge because the leaves come down, the limbs come down to the ground
Mm-hmm. Well,
on the big one.
what I've done here at the house is whenever we moved in, we got one of them extendable pole saws,
Uh,
and I went through this whole yard of what we opened up for yard, and anything that I could reach with that pole saw came down. And
okay.
that's the only, I guess, the bad thing far as if we ever have kids or something like that, then the youngest have to get a stitching ladder to get to the first one.
Well, that's what I mean. I used to mow. I used to work for a guy, and one of my jobs was it was on a farm, but one of my jobs was every week or two I'd go mow his big yard. And he had big magnolia trees, and I can remember a little bit running over those leaves, but I didn't ever go under it. I always went around the edge of it because it came all the way to the ground. If he'd cut those down, the yard would have been twice as hard to mow because it covered up a good portion of his yard.
Now,
Yeah,
from
Mama's
time to
got flower pots all under hers.
ain't that what your grandma did too? Put flowers up underneath that old magnolia.
Oh,
least he
hers are
could
impossible.
Hannah's daddy planted one back in late 60s, early 70s. I get whenever he graduated high school. But he planted them one up there. Y'all may be able to see it in a few of them videos. But now that old magnolia, they ain't trimmed nothing off it. Like you say, there's a whole bunch of limbs that kind of look like old live oak. They just about touching the ground and, stretch way on out there, but just a few feet off the ground. What's the number? Yeah, we're dwindling on down. We done go on late this evening, yeah. Well, it's been fun talking to my friends.
Yeah, I mean, I made it all the way back to Dallas. I've got like about 15 minutes left on my drive here.
You talked him all the way home.
Well, we had to make sure Philip made it home safe. Keep him talking. Yeah. Didn't want him dozing with all them boxes on the back of that truck.
I wish somebody had come help me unload these darn things, because I'll tell you what, loading them up was hard, because I had to load them up on the tailgate and climb up in the truck and stack them again. And oh gosh, now I got to do the same thing at home: push them back to the tailgate, jump down, then pick them up again. I'm gonna end up picking these boxes up about 8 times before I finally get honey out of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining. It's just what it is. At least I got something to pick up.
That's true. You could have to lift the load we had to tote in the house. Well, it was like 1.7 ounces, including the jar.
Well, what you do, Philip, tomorrow evening, call a few buddies, say, look, man, I'm firing the grill up right on by. I got steaks. When you get them there, go, look, hey, real quick, while you're here, I need a hand.
Everybody in the chat's scared because they know I'm coming for the official, unofficial trophy.
That's what it was.
Unofficial what?
The official, unofficial honey contest.
Oh.
When am I having that? Over in September?
Yeah, officially, unofficial. But yeah, we're shooting for September.
Philip's in the early stages of flexing his muscles with that picture a while ago. With them boxes on the back of his truck.
Yep. I'm trying to intimidate people so they don't enter.
Yeah.
Don't send it in. Y'all gonna lose.
The intimidation factor is real, y'all.
Y'all just wasting postage. That's all you're doing.
I love this just meek and mild attitude, Philip. No confidence at all.
Oh man. Hey, last time I trash talked a little bit, you guys got like $40,000 mailed to you.
Yeah, we did.
It turned out good. I'm looking forward to this year too. See how the turnout is.
Mm-hmm.
But no diabetics for taste testers. We know that. That's the first rule we're going to take up.
We want to know.
I wasn't too worried until I kept seeing him take like 3 or 4 spoonfuls of every honey. I was like, "Whoa, man, come on!"
Well, he called us the first night whenever we had no idea we was going to have to break it down into 2 events. But the first Sunday after that, we called him next morning and said, "You all right, Mr. Donnie?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I'm good. I even checked my sugar when I got home that night." I was like, "Well, what was it?" Because we was expecting his sugar to be just out the roof. And He said, "Oh, it was like 96." We was like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." We was like, "Mr. Donnie, that's perfect." You know, we was figuring you'd be on up 200 or 300 kind of thing. He said, "Well, me too, but it was perfect."
Wow.
You see Mike's comment? Mice
What'd you
count?
say?
We used to do most counts with water paper plate. For some reason, they go out of their way to poop them.
Every time. Every time.
Oh, man.
We couldn't go. Take you out. You ain't made your debut.
He's been up here a couple times.
Oh.
Hey, look, Steve had a great idea we can end the stream on.
What's that?
He said, Tim, you can have the honey judging in your house and we can help you install a dishwasher.
Ah, there we go. Now we're talking.
I'll fire the grill up. We'll have steaks and a honey tasting. And while y'all working on that dishwasher,
Yeah. Well, they're working on the dishwasher. I don't think they thought that. What? You gotta go.
I thought we'd forgotten about this whole dishwasher thing.
Just wistful thinking.
No.
Or delusional thinking.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
One day.
He says, "Why you keep bringing that up? I told you 6 months ago I'll get to it."
Thank you.
I've got things that I'm on the 4 and 5 year reminders with no joke.
I can neither confirm nor deny what she just said.
Because if he tries to deny it, he's gonna get struck by lightning right here in this recliner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them got a beautiful ball and claw tub out there that came out of an old house that I've been meaning to get in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, you shouldn't have to confirm.
What you supposed to say, Tim, is I deny the allegation and I deny the alligator.
I don't like that. You're giving him more excuses, Phil.
No, it's just giving me time to prepare fully. That way, whenever said event comes, I will have good plan, a rock solid idea, and it'll be just perfect.
Mr. Dan said, but you just ride that motorbike. Steve's got the dishwasher.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mm.
I know, Michael, but it's just a running argument. He said the only thing the dishwasher saves is sterilizing jars instead of boiling them.
Yeah, you can write that thing off for your honey money.
That's right. That's right. Sterilization.
Dishwasher? Now y'all on to something.
That's what it takes. Not
That's a
just
tax
the simple fact of his wife wants one.
Well, I mean, you really need to justify it to 2 people. I have,
Oh, yeah, and my labor is not justified.
look, we're not going to get into women's rights.
So we can. I've
Oh,
learned a lot about women's rights the last couple of weeks.
oh, good grief, Ashley. Lord mercy.
Yeah. I haven't even tried none of my bad arguments on him yet.
She said to me,
Yeah. Alright, I'm fixing to let your dog out.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up. We get the hint. Y'all, I got to go inside.
Gosh, I want to let the dogs out. So good night. Y'all talk just as long as you want to, okay? But I'll see y'all next week for real.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Good night.
All right.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Thank y'all for coming on, Joey, Philip. Y'all take it easy, bro.
All right.
All right.
All
See
right.
y'all later.
Yes.
Oh, Steve said if I spent one time washing dishes, I'd have more time.
It's time to go, people. We're gonna wrap her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless you, Laura willing. We'll see y'all on the next one. What do you think about it, Dad?
All
Y'all take care.
Hell, yes.
right.
Mm.